Has Warpriest been a crazy OP healer this whole time and we didn't even know it? What's up, guys? Mike MTG Jedi here, and we're rocking the blue light glasses. I know it's a little bit trendy right now, but man, it's been such a relief on my eyes. We are here on my dude Silence account, and he has hooked us up with this stream meme 1 OP champion, and that is none other than the free champion that we get at the beginning of the game, Warpriest. Right when you start playing this game, you come in and you're fighting through the campaign. You're on the normal mode here. You're fighting through here. And who do you get? You get, that's right, Warpriest. And then you have her on your account since day one. Less than an hour into the game for most people. And, she's sitting there, and what are you going to do with her? Most people chop her up and use her as a chicken. Maybe that was too graphic. But Warpriest, I don't even know. She's a Bannerlord, right? What faction is she even in, guys? Is she not a Bannerlord? Oh, I feel like a failure. Sacred Order? She's got to be Sacred Order, right? There she is. Okay. Nope, that's Witness. Just kidding. Just kidding. The other redhead. Warpriest. You get her right from the very beginning. And you look at her and you think, okay, well, I don't need this champion, but have we been wrong this whole time? Her A1 has a freeze on it. Admittedly, it's a low chance, but if you're fighting through campaign with her, you're going to get some freezes, and if you put books in, it's 25% of the time. Well, what about here? Heals target ally by 20% of their max HP, and all allies except the target by 10% of the target's max HP. So it's confusing the way they word it, but basically one ally gets a bigger heal and then everybody else gets a smaller heal. And then her A3 puts an increased attack buff on allies for 2 turns. Now, I always looked at this ability and I was like, oh man, this champion can't possibly be good because she has this ability that does nothing. Admittedly, increased attack is a good ability, but it always feels like wasting her turn. So I think that we need to dive in a little bit deeper on this champion that we get from day one and really see, is she actually good? So you know how we do in my champion guides. We go over the abilities, which we started to do here, talk about her role, and talk about her build. So let's finish the abilities. Alright, so her A1 has the freeze, her A2 has the heals, and her A3 has the increased attack. I actually think if this ability had an attack on it or something else on it, we'd been using this chick the whole time. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like this ability misleads us as to how good this champion actually is. And if we take a look at her base stats, they're actually pretty good. 18k HP, 1100 defense, and reasonable everything else. Her base attack is low, which is unfortunate because her damage is based on attack. But remember, she only has the one attack. Her role is to be a healer. And believe me, you're going to be surprised here. She does a pretty good job healing. Okay. Now, I actually want to compare her to a champion we all know and love. And hit me up in the comments below whether you agree or disagree with this comparison. But you're going to see on one of the teams I'm using today that she compares pretty favorably to Syl of the Drakes, guys. Syl has this passive heal, okay, which she's a legendary champion. Let's put that out there, guys. She's a legendary champion. She should be a lot better. And of course, the passive heal is good, okay? But this is the same kind of ability that Warpriest has. She's like a rare version of Warpriest. I mean, Warpriest is a rare version of her. Let's say it the right way. Okay, Warpriest is a rare version of Scylla the Drakes. She also has this, minor ability on her A1, and then her A2 does the stun on all enemies, which if we had the attack on the increase attack ability would feel kind of similar to this, okay? And then obviously she has a revive, which Warpriest can't be, come words. Warpriest can't compete with this ability, but I mean she's a legendary, right? And if you don't have your Syl built yet, I mean build her. If you're gonna get her soon, start saving your chickens, start saving your books. I mean, you should be ready to rank her up as soon as you get her. And so we're gonna pair them together for some crazy heals. But first, we need to talk about where we're going to use her. So what is her role in this game? Let's get it. All right, so first and foremost, Warpriest, you get her early on. And so, yeah, you should be using her early on in pairing with your campaign farmer or in pairing with your starting champion. As you're fighting through these levels, beating normal campaign and then hard and then brutal, you're going to want to come in here and you're going to want your Warpriest and you're going to want your starter champion like Kale, for example, okay? So you're going to want these two, and that's how you get your 3 stars on campaign, is you beat it with 2 or fewer champions. Don't put the other 2 slots in there. I see people do that all the time. Put the 2 best champions that you have and get your 3 stars. And if you don't have 2 best champions, then all you do is this, okay? And I'm going to showcase this on Brutal because it's awesome and hilarious. So we're going to come over here to the most common stage that people run after they've beaten Brutal campaign. And that is 12-3. And then you typically put food champions in here, but we're going to showcase it just with the Warpriest. Yes, I know she doesn't have an aura. She could have an aura. She could have so much more to her kit, but we can only use these champions how they are printed. So, watch her just beat through this stage, guys. Now, I'm not saying that she's going to do this fast. Not saying that. I'm not even saying that you should use her as your campaign farmer. Not saying that. All I'm saying is that when you're fighting through the campaign originally, you can use her as either your main chick or as a duo with your starter champion, okay? And there we got the freeze on the A1, right? Like when you're beating these guys, 1 out of 4 of them, you should freeze, all right? And remember, she has really good defensive stats, so she's not even going to be taking this much damage from all of these guys, okay? Again, this is not going to be a fast run. Not saying that, okay? Also, you're noticing a little bit extra damage there. We'll get into that in a minute. It's very important. Maybe not originally, but she can pair really well. And I've just been feeding her as a chicken to use to level up my other champions, and I think maybe I'm wrong, okay? Silent's been telling me for so long about the power of Warpriest, but I was not a believer until today, chat/YouTube. You guys are all awesome. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out here in this video. Thank you for clicking on this. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button and the like button. You're awesome for doing both of those things. And Warpriest is gonna solo 12-3 Brutal campaign, which means that she can pretty much do all of the other stages as well. She can be very helpful in helping you get those stars. And there we have it, okay? And that's also my personal best time with her on this stage, all right? Now, normally you'd have other champions in there leveling them up as well, or getting your stars for the first time. So we know she's going to be helpful in fighting through campaign. But is she going to be useful in other places? She actually is, okay? She actually is. So if we come over here into Faction Wars, I don't think that we have Sacred Order today. But Sacred Order, if we come back out to the index, does kind of have a problem with the heals. Depends on what champions you have. I was lucky enough to have Romero on my team for the heals. I have on my free to play account Mistress of Hymns, okay, and Cardinals Outstanding. I will maybe be doing a guide on Adriel. I've been hearing some good things about. Okay, but if you don't have those champions, everybody gets Warpriest. Okay, so she should just go in your Faction Wars team until you get someone better to replace her. And if you don't get someone better to replace her, maybe she's your healer, guys. Maybe. Okay, every Faction Wars team needs a healer because you need your people to survive. All right, so where else are we going to use her? So we're going to use her to help us 3-star campaign. We're going to use us to help us get stars in Faction Wars. Early games, she can be helpful in Clan Boss as a healer as well. Early Doom Tower, she can be helpful as a healer. Early Arena, she can be helpful as an arena. But today, I'm going to showcase her in one particular dungeon that I came up with a pretty sweet team on Silence account here. But I actually think she could be a great healer for any of these dungeons early in the game. You're mainly going to use her when you're fighting through the stages, trying to clear stage 20 for the first time. So I built a team that might be similar to a team you would try to clear this for the first time, okay? Frozen Banshees are rare. She's outstanding. If you get her on your account, you're probably building her, unless you have a crazy roster. Everybody gets Warpriest, everybody gets Dark Aethel, everybody gets Scylla the Drakes, and then you can replace this with maybe War Maiden or another decreased defense, some other defensive champ. But I particularly like Tyrell because he has a decreased attack and a decreased defense. Okay, also he's a defense-based champion, and his aura for dungeons is really helpful. I actually think it's all battles. Okay, so with this team here, we're going to decrease defense on everybody. Sill's going to stun them. Frozen Banshee's going to start putting on poisons. Dark Elhain. Did I say Dark Aethel before? Dark Elhain is going to do some damage consistently for us, and Warpriest is going to heal us consistently. Also, the increased attack on this team is very relevant. The increased attack is going to help Dark Elhain as well as Frozen Banshee do a little bit extra damage, and it's going to help herself do extra damage as well. All right, so this is not going to be a quick run. Okay, this is also not going to be a quick run. We're not talking about speed teams here. If you want speed teams, check out my other videos, all right, like the crazy spider strategies we've been posting and all that kind of stuff. But we're talking about progression. This is your first attempt at Dragon 20, and you're trying to beat it for the first time. So you need healers. You just leveled up your Scylla the Drakes, and you have your Warpriest in the vault, so you bring both of them in here. And she's going to consistently give you the heals, and in combination with Scylla the Drakes, they're going to keep all your guys healed up and ready to go. So we got the Syl, and then Warpriest. We do have masteries on Warpriest, guys. We do. Now, you might not at the time when you're using her, but any kind of champion that you're using in dungeons, I always recommend Warmaster on. We'll go over that in the gearing section in a couple minutes, and you're going to see some sweet gear on this Warpriest, okay? Because we are showing her maximum potential today, guys. So you can see there, she heals everybody almost exactly the same level of heals as Scylla the Drakes, which I was not prepared for. I was not prepared for that. I was not prepared for Warpriest to be healing as well as Scylla the Drakes. Admittedly, Syl's is a passive, okay, so you can't really compare the two, but you can compare the two, okay? They're very interesting. And Syl is like obviously an upgraded version of Warpriest, but you don't get her for so long on your account. Warpriest you get on day 1. Day 1. All right. Now you tell me down below in the comments, did you use your Warpriest or did you feed her as food? If you fed her as food, do you remember who you fed her to level up? I'm curious. I'm curious. I'm interested to know, so you let me know. All right, so we don't have any big damage dealers here. And until you have a big damage dealer, you want to use poison on the dragon. You can see we're chunking it away with the poisons. And that's the best thing to do. We're also getting some consistent damage with Dark Elhain. And I don't think she has masteries either. Not everyone on this team has masteries, okay? You don't need masteries on every single person in order to beat this dungeon, okay? And it's better to beat it consistently than to have a good time, all right? Frozen Banshee is an excellent choice here, and you can make her very defensive. She does not have to have good offensive stats, just speed, accuracy, and then defense and HP, okay? Now, we have a little bit of everything on our Frozen Banshee, and we'll showcase that in a minute. But this is a clear, and I don't see any reason why this would fail, okay? I don't see any reason. If you have better champions, obviously you can put them in here instead. But if you don't, then this is a pretty accessible team, I think. And Warpriest, guys. Warpriest. She's doing damage because we have Warmaster on her. She's healing everybody alongside Scylla the Drakes. And did we get a usable piece of gear? Yeah, we did. If we hit speed there or HP on the Frost set, yes, we did. All right, so I'm pretty excited to show you the crazy build on her. It's not early game gear, but we want to show off her full potential. So let's get into the build guide. All right, so to wrap up this video, we're going to bring up Warpriest here. I'm not going to go through every single champion. If you're interested in that, I can do that in another video. This video is focused on Warpriest, and that's right, we are using the often sold gear of curing gear to increase the heals, guys. And this is not crazy gear. It's not. The immortal stuff is a little bit better. Okay, we have a triple speed roll here. All right, whatever. Okay, but accuracy and crit rate, we're not even using those. Okay, we are not using anything on here except the 2 HPs. Okay, on here, we're only using the HP, guys. The crit rate and crit damage is not helping us whatsoever. We do have speed boots. Okay, the speed is the main thing here that's helping us. Now, on the Immortal, we do have HP percentage on both of those, and they're ranked up to 16. Okay, so these two pieces are pretty decent. HP percentage in HP gear. Okay, but you can see the substats are not crazy. They are not the reason why she's doing well, guys. Right? This is an awesome build, Silent. I'm so excited about this. I'm sure that we could have done this without the ring and the banner ranked up, but we do want HP rolls, and typically we want defense as well. Over here, we're not even using the accuracy. I mean, yes, we do have the freeze on the A1, but do we need 232 accuracy? No, we do not. No, we do not. Is it, I mean, it's not hurting us, okay? But this is not a crazy banner other than the fact that it's ranked up all the way to 16, okay? And then we have an HP amulet, all right? So combined there, we basically have HP on every single piece of gear. So that's going to give us a high total, okay? But most of our HP is coming from these two plus the ring. And actually, I would have preferred some kind of accessories in here to be defense, so that her defense could be a little higher, because it's really not that high. Admittedly, her HP is pretty high. Okay, this is a sweet build, all right? 63,000 HP on the Warpriest, 185 speed is reasonable, 232 accuracy is reasonable. This could easily be lower than that, okay? Down to 200 or even less to be, 200 is right where you want to be for level 20 dungeons, so we're a little bit above that. We have her fully booked, guys, fully booked, so that we have the cooldowns, we have the bonuses on the heals, and early game you get some rare books for completing the challenges, you know. So book your starter champ, and then if you're using your Warpriest, book her as well. And then masteries, we do have, like I said, War Master. We have the healing masteries over here to get bonus heals, and this is the kind of things you do to get the most out of your champions. So let me know, did you enjoy this video with this crazy free champion? We've been sleeping on her the whole time, guys. We've been sleeping on her, and we would never have known without you, Silent. We would never have known. So big thanks to Silent, and we've used his account a number of times. It is a sweet account. He has tons of great champions. I'm sure we'll be back on here at some point to do other videos of some of these outstanding champions. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.